Alright, so today we are going to talk about HR, which is the last topic in business studies, so thank God. So first off, we're going to talk about the role. The strategic role of human resources. Management of total relationship between employer and employee in order to achieve strategic goals of business. Major strategic challenges for human resource management. Developing and retaining talented staff. Improving leadership development. Managing aging workforce, increased role of technology, ethics, and CSR. Increased outsourcing as well. Interdependence with other key business functions. Finance. Effective human resource policy linked to profitability gains. Share price increases, higher occurrence of long-term survival. Marketing. Apparent in strong relationships between business and customers. Operations. Business invests strongly in relationship between them and their employees are more likely to see better performance. Outsourcing involves use of third-party specialist businesses, for example recruitment firms. Aims to take advantage of specialist skills, reducing labour costs. So you can implement them in your human resource functions so they can do pretty much the job of your employees, what they're supposed to do. Or you can use contractors, so they're just there for a small period of time, but it is a set period of time, whereas outsourcing can kind of be more, we might need you 5 hours here, another day 3 hours. Domestic contractors, maybe it's domestic outsourcing, avoids need to employ in-house staff along with overhead expenses involved. Firms can focus on essential business activities, leaving work to experts such as payroll management or order fulfillment. Business can benefit from the fresh ideas. Global. Process outsourcing. Repetitive, easily measured and documented work. For example, recruitment, multi-payroll management, customer complaints. Project outsourcing, found in areas such as HR, marketing, design, IT and research, involves greater use of intellectual property plus strategic business knowledge. Risks include difficulty controlling quality and reliability, cultural differences such as language or accent issues, security issues such as opportunities for sharing confidential company info and client poaching, lack of remedies for breach of contract plus other legal matters, high labour turnover, particularly in call centres, well-qualified employees replaced by less qualified staff equals a quality decline. Stakeholders. Now we have influencers, which is known by less.e. less.e.t. Stakeholders are the first ones. So employers. Employees' interest in a business is to increase profit and flexibility, minimize costs, expand the business, develop new products, and maximize customer service. Employees. Employees' interest in a business, better wages and working conditions, meaningful job security, participation in decisions. Employer associations. Organisations representing and assisting employers groups. Respondents to award covering employees of their members, covering employers. Provide advice on awards, unfair dismissal, etc. Negotiate agreements. An example of an employee association is the AMA, Australian Medical Association. They keep ethical standards high, provide world-class medical care, challenge government policy. Basically, they're there to protect anyone in the medical side of things in terms of wages, conditions, etc. Unions. Trade unions are organisations formed by employees in industry, trade, occupation, improve wages and working conditions. An example of this is the SDA, shopping, distribution and allied employees. It's a union for fast food, warehouse workers, retail workers. They protect and advance wages and they ensure suitable working conditions are maintained. Government organisations. Government has significantly affected industrial relations system as their key roles are legislator, employer, responsible economic manager, admin of government policies, rep of Australia in international area. Government organisations in employment relationship. Human Rights and Equal Opportunities Commission, Department of Education, Employment Workplace Relations, Federal Court of Australia, Fair Work Australia, Office of Fair Work Ombudsman. Statutes. Laws made by federal and state parliaments, for example laws relating to employment conditions. Statutes provide framework for awards and agreements. Resolution of disputes require employers to meet WHS requirements, maintain workers' comp, provide super annual leave, long service leave, ensure workplaces free from discrimination, provide fair work information stated to new employees, government organisations, industrial tribunals and courts exist at federal and state levels, enforcing laws established by government. Fair Work Australia ensures any industrial action occurs according to law. Federal court, judicial power equals power of the court to interpret and apply laws. Enforce industrial relations legislation by administering court actions arising under Australian industrial laws. And society is also a stakeholder. In 1948, the General Assembly of the UN passed Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They recognise the importance of work to people's lives and the need for fair and just conditions. Legal, the current legal framework. All businesses operate within a legal framework of common law and statute law. Legislation covers contracts and agreements, dispute settling methods, protection of human rights and employment, employer responsibilities, health and safety. Centralised industrial relations system. Disputes referred to industrial tribunals, for example, Fair Work Australia, for reconciliation and arbitration. Decentralised industrial relations system. Employers and employees negotiate wages and working conditions at a workplace level. Collective and individual bargaining takes place. Just a little side story. YouthWorks has been massively impacted by legal regulations. Their working conditions were found to be unsuitable and unsafe. Workers were not able to do their job. Company failed to provide basic necessities. Workers made several compensation claims. Former employees claimed that they were suffering from psychiatric injuries as a result of poor health and safety standards. Slater and Gordon lawyers represented the workers. Company was for profit, when usually those companies that are I think it was to help people who were struggling, who were young, they shouldn't have really been a for-profit business. YW had a history of disputes and they're no longer a care provider in the ACT as a result. So it obviously had a massive impact on them. The employment contract. State the rights and responsibilities of both employer and employee, generally in writing, include terms and conditions of employment, contain minimum employment standards plus minimum wage rates. Common law is the rights and obligations of employers and employees. They must provide work, payment of income and expenses, provide a safe work environment, duty of care, protect against unfair dismissal. Minimum employment standards. Fair Work Australia 2009 states that there are 10 minimum employment standards which must be provided by employers, known as the National Employment Standards, NES, not A. Designed to create a safety net for employees, employers cannot bargain away any of the following: max weekly hours of work, parental leave related entitlements up to 12 months unpaid leave, annual leave, community service leave and long service leave. Minimum wage rates. As of 2018, base wage must not be less than $18.94 an hour or $719.20 per 38-hour week. Awards. Legally binding document outlining minimum terms and conditions of employment, includes minimum wages, penalty rates, flexible working arrangements, hours of work, rest breaks, leave entitlements. Fair Work Act of 2009 allows for award simplification, reduced awards from 2,400 to 122. Enterprise agreements, made at a workplace level between employer and group of employees about terms and conditions of employment. There are 3 types: single enterprise, multi-purpose, and greenfield. Other employment contracts: individual, employer and employee negotiate contracts. Independent contracts undertake work for others but do not have the same legal status of an employee. Casual, short-term, irregular, uncertain employment, not entitled to sick leave, etc. Part-time, they work less than 35 hours per week and have access to the same employment standards as those working full-time. Work health and safety and workers' compensation. WHS Act of 2011 was passed by the New South Wales government. It covers employees, employers and the self-employed. Employers must ensure health and safety and welfare of all employees by providing a safe system of work. They must take out workers' compensation insurance or face imprisonment or a $55,000 fine. Employers must take care of others on the worksite, including public. Work cover can inspect workplace and can be notified in cases of death or serious injuries. The Anti-Discrimination and Equal Employment Opportunity. Anti-discrimination is anti-discrimination. Discrimination occurs when a policy or practice disadvantages a person or a group of people because of a personal characteristic often irrelevant to a performance. Anti-discrimination legislation protects employees direct and indirect discrimination at any stage of the process of hiring, from selection to termination. Employers must comply with legislation, audit policies and practice, be familiar with Commonwealth legislation, Human Rights and Equal Opportunities Commission Act of 1986, Affirmative Action, Equal Opportunity for Women Act of 1986, Sex Discrimination Act 1984 plus Anti-Discrimination Act 1977. It is illegal to take adverse actions in employment on the grounds of sex, race, colour and age, disabilities, religious faith, or political opinion, pregnancy. Equal employment opportunity. Equitable policies and practices in recruitment, selection, training and promotion. EEO ensures best people for a job chosen. Employers must have an affirmative action plan in order to facilitate workplace gender equality. Affirmative action refers to measures taken to eliminate direct and indirect discrimination. EAPCC, they're a cement company in Kenya. They reduced employees to save costs. 800 employees were declared redundant, their jobs made available with a lower salary. This was to prevent the business collapsing. Severance and redundancy payments total equal to around $8.5 million in Australian currency. Oh, bloody hell, that was economic. Anyway, so now we're going to talk about economic, and the case study doesn't matter anymore. Economic. Economic cycle is spending levels affect level of business activity, employment levels connected to business activity. Bargaining power in contract/agreement negotiations is affected by business success. Globalization. Competition increases for Australian businesses. Costs need to be cut equals workers increasing their productivity. New procedures mean staff need retraining. Business relocating or downsizing equals potential separation. Technological, as the most important source of change is technology. Technology is a new dot point. Produces/provides goods and services, communicates within a business and to customers, competes in its market. Impacts of technology on HR. Ongoing training for staff, creation of new jobs and skills makes some jobs redundant, efficiency gains and job designs undergoing change. Amazon has been particularly affected by technology. They are investing $700 million to upskill their workers by 2025. 100,000 workers are to be upskilled. It means Amazon keeps the same employees, no need to hire already skilled external applicants. Skills include software engineering, training for use of tech in fulfillment centers, coding skills and apprenticeships. So they can basically upskill their staff. They don't have to go through the training from the base level of new employees, so it works well. So they have less employees doing more things, I guess you could say. Now we have social changing work patterns, living standards. Alright, changing work patterns. Many careers change over a person's lifetime. Increasing use of outsourcing/contractors. More part-time and casual work. Team and project-based. Telecommunications, increased female participation, paid maternity leave/paternity leave. Living standards, higher education standards, work-life balance, demand quality of goods and services, and health is an issue. ACOM. They offer 12 weeks annual leave to be taken during school holiday periods, allows employees to manage work and family, offer available to existing employees and new employees, aim to ensure women engineers stay within the company, means reduced staff turnover equals less money involved with this, offer aims to increase number of women in the company, open to men and women. Ethics and corporate social responsibility. Ethically, business practices are those that are socially responsible, morally right, honourable and fair. Ethics are the standards that society expects to be maintained. Ethical issues include unethical works practices/conditions, unlawful/unfair dismissal, harassment, injuries and death. Benefits of ethical and legal practices is a pleasant work environment, staff are motivated and they feel valued, improve business performance, community support, workplace free of harassment and discrimination, equal employment opportunity, positive business image. A socially responsible, ethical employer realises that a pleasant working environment assists in motivating and retaining staff, performance and motivation maximised when staff feel secure, benefits of good working relationships and teamwork. Business depends on community support. Customers will choose a socially responsible business over one that is not. Management should be committed to ethical workplace culture. Ethical issues for HR management. Teams and flatter structures, retrenchments, multi-skilling, learning new tasks, outsourcing non-core activities, continuous improvement, pressure to improve performance. Code of conduct is the statement of acceptable and unacceptable behaviours. Code of ethics, statement of firms' values and principles. Code of practice, principles used by businesses in operations, those that are ethical or socially responsible. Bread and Butter Co. is a great example. They invest 100% of their profits in training refugees and asylum seekers as bakers. Trainees undertake fully paid traineeships, helps trainees secure employment, supplies 250 million cafes, $5 million in revenue, which of course goes into training and paying for the inputs, of course. They are supported by 45 trainees. They have supported 45 trainees so far. Now we have processes, which we know by ADMS. 4 main processes of the HR cycle are: number 1, acquisition, which is identifying staffing needs, recruitment and selection. Then we have development, which is the training and development, and performance management. And then we have maintenance, which is the monetary and non-monetary benefits and legal responsibilities. And separation is the last one, voluntary and involuntary separation. Acquisition involves staffing needs, recruitment and selection. Businesses match staffing to strategic direction it's taking. It must identify the skills and number of employees required in the future, analyze the existing workforce to identify skills, hobbies and training, compare the expected future needs of the business with the existing supply of staffing needs. Number 1, staffing needs may not involve employing more people. They just have to figure out how to employ people. They just have to figure out how to train existing staff or provide an incentive program which can make the business more efficient. If existing staff do not suit, then a specific job needs to be identified and analysed. This results in a job description, which is the description of duties, tasks and responsibilities associated with job. Then a job specification is developed. It outlines skills, experience and qualifications needed for a job. Value of job needs to be established with a remuneration figure attached. Determines how much the job is, including pay and entitlements. Then we have recruitment, can be done internally or externally if promotions occur internally. If internally, this can motivate existing staff, can cause issues if one employee is chosen over the other. Recruitment function can be outsourced. External candidates may be found from students or graduates, headhunted or through job advertisements. May upskill business but demoralize existing staff. Selection, screening process where info is gathered about job applicants and through review, the most appropriate candidate is chosen. Selection process may involve a form, an interview, Ellie, stop! An assessment centre, a written test, a handwriting assessment or a medical. Google, they use external and internal recruitment sources. They first identify what roles are required. They connect with potential interns and academic institutions. Their selection process, they do background checks, screening, interview, and quite a few on-the-job tests. Development involves preparing employees for future responsibilities within an organisation. Provides staff with a wider range of experiences in activities completed by business, results in greater flexibility and increased capacity for change to take place successfully. Induction introduces new employees to the business, allows them to become familiar with the workings of the firm. Introduce systems, code of conduct and culture. Next we have training, activities aimed at improving an employee's present performance. On the job advisors, traineeships and job rotation. Off the job training is TAFE and university. This helps improve skills aimed at providing a better quality product or service as well as improving productivity and employment skills. Then we have a performance appraisal. Is a formal assessment of how well a person is doing, provides a basis for future training needs, pay rises, promotions and possible further development. This case study, we've got Amazon. I already mentioned this one before, but I will repeat it. They invest $700 million to upskill workers by 2025. They intend on having 100,000 workers to be upskilled. They can keep the same employees and just upskill them so they don't have to go through the very costly process of acquiring new ones. They're training them in the skills of the future such as software engineering, use of technology and fulfillment centres, coding skills and apprenticeships. Now we have maintenance. Involves providing working conditions and working environment that motivate staff to be increasingly productive, gain satisfaction from their work and remain loyal to the firm. It's far cheaper to maintain the current workforce rather than employ new staff. Businesses with good maintenance are able to increase productivity, improve morale, improve communication, reduce absenteeism. Good communication can be achieved by monetary benefits. Rewarding workers for increased productivity or hard work can be done in the form of incentives, so like payments, bonuses, commissions. Takes into account fringe benefits such as company car and phone. Non-monetary benefits. Some are motivated by benefits other than money, greater job variety, flexible working hours, self-management. Intrinsic rewards. Intrinsic rewards come from employees themselves and include satisfaction from a job well done, good feeling about the job they're involved in. Flexible and family-friendly working arrangements. By not delivering in these areas, businesses can face potential court action, high turnover costs, and increased absenteeism. Amazon US. They offer free healthcare for their employees and their families. Insurance provided to ensure financial security, generous stock plans, support available for employees 24/7 at no cost for health and well-being, financial as well. Paid parental leave with the leave share option. Employees paid time off to recharge or renew. Career choice program. Amazon pays 95% of tuition plus textbooks, etc. to upskill employees in professions of the future, which is a really good thing. Separation. This one's really quick. Involves ending employment relationship through termination of employment contract. May come from either employee or employer in two forms. Voluntary. Retirement, resignation, voluntary redundancy. 2. Involuntary. redundancy, instant or summary dismissal or dismissal warnings. Unfair dismissal occurs where an employee is dismissed by employer and employee believes the action was unreasonable or too harsh. HR managers must be aware and are up to date with the current legislation. Commonwealth Bank, they made hundreds of employees redundant recently because of technology. Many were long-term employees working in the head office. Employees made redundant were promised annual salary paid every year for 10 years. This was quite costly for the bank, costing them around $200 million, but they didn't have any class actions. At the end of the day, a lot of these employees were close to retirement, so they get to not work for 10 years and they get paid, so everyone was happy. I'll finish this bit later. Alright, a few technical difficulties. Anyway, so I'm going to finish off HR with talking about the strategies. Oh my god, this is off to a terrible start. So the acronym is not really an acronym, it's a sentence. Little John receives pay to reward good work. So let's start off with leadership style. So we've got authoritarian, or also known as autocratic. Managers lead based on the view that they are responsible for telling employees what is required to complete a task. No role for employees to contribute to process of decision making. Am I recording? Yep. This style is useful for when a decision needs to be made quickly or employees are learning a new job. Participative or democratic. The concept of inclusion is fundamental for this type of leadership. Managers include employees in decision-making process. They're consulted on how and what to do in certain situations. Final decisions rest with the manager still. This style can be useful for managers recognizing employee knowledge as being valuable, recognizing the skill of staff, motivational for staff. Delegative. It's like free rein leadership. Employees are allowed to make decisions. All decisions are outsourced and no longer become the manager's responsibility. It's can be used for a manager showing that they trust the ability of employees to make the right decision. Managers seek to motivate staff, encouraging ownership of their work. So for the case study for this one, we're going to talk about ANZ. They have a 3-day retreat. Participants reflect on their behaviours and strengths. They receive feedback on their leadership style. They take action to ensure a healthy climate is created that is productive and positive. Data is gathered to enable participants to set goals and ensure improvement. Job design, general or specific tasks. Number, kind, and variety of tasks that a worker is expected to carry out when performing a job. By designing, enriching, and rewarding jobs, manager can retain and attract better quality staff and increase motivation. Specific tasks. Tasks often repetitive, routine, and inflexible, leading to boredom and poor job satisfaction or a lack of enrichment. Employees can produce a high turnover as a result of efficiency gains, as an employee would get better at performing roles due to the routine involved. General tasks. A business whose job designs are more general and flexible often attract better applicants. Staff may be more motivated, have broader skill sets, and be happier in their positions. However, they may be less efficient at completing simple tasks. Note, employees must weigh up advantages and disadvantages of both. Employees' skills and qualifications must be aligned with the job they are undertaking. A well-designed job includes opportunity for achievement, flexibility, social interaction, and a variety of tasks. Benefits of appropriate job design. Cut in costs helps businesses' competitiveness. Increase in job satisfaction. Increase in productivity for the business. So our case study for this one is Volvo. Volvo has job enrichment programs aimed to improve working conditions. Reduce employee turnover and absenteeism. Job rotation involves small work groups and employee-orientated facilities used. Employee-centric approach rather than assembly line system. This led to a 30% reduction in staff turnover and absenteeism. Productivity remained stable. Oh, there's a bit more to talk about. Common methods for better job design. So we've got job rotation. That's pretty self-explanatory. Job enlargement. Like employees are given extra tasks and a bit of challenge. Job enrichment. Given more challenging tasks. More challenging tasks, responsibility, autonomy, and decision in the business. Flexible work structures. Employees offered flexible options to meet personal needs, part-time casual work, etc. Alright. Recruitment. Internal or external. General or specific skills. So this is kind of long. Alright. Process of locating and attracting the right quantity of staff to apply for employment vacancies. Recruitment matches business's HR needs with appropriate staff. Business must decide to employ internally or externally. Internally, the advantages are it's motivation for staff, they see development and opportunity. Builds commitment and loyalty, employees know culture, operations, and no culture and the operations. So productivity is maintained. But disadvantages are it can reinforce negative culture, leads to rivalry for positions, often attracts many unsuccessful applicants who are internal, who don't get the job, and so they might quit because they thought they deserved it over someone else, even if someone else is a better applicant, yeah. External advantages are a wider applicant pool, new ideas, perspectives, and skills, maybe better skills than current employees. Dilutes internal politics. Disadvantages though, risk of unknown to staff, lost productivity in orientation and induction phase, new employee may not suit the culture, and it is quite costly. General skills. Key general skills include flexibility, versatility, social confidence, appropriate attitude, leadership, and ability to work as a team or alone. Willing to learn and work under pressure. These behavioral soft skills are integral in building a successful workforce and can't really be learned, unlike specific skills. Specific skills are like, I don't know, you go to university and you do a graphic design course. I think that's a good way to define it. Businesses are concerned with skill shortages and need to target employees with specific skills to fill the gaps in businesses. So if you just have some general arts degree, maybe not. But if a graphic design company is looking for graphic designers, graphic design degree will get you the job. So let's talk about Tesco. They first look internally. They advertise the job for about 2 weeks on their internal job board. Their intranet. It allows current employees seeking to get a it lists current employees seeking promotion, motivates and rewards staff they feel valued. If no suitable candidates, then they advertise the job externally. Alright, so we're going to talk about training and development, current or future skills. Training aims to develop skills, knowledge, and attitudes that lead to superior work performance. Development is focused on enhancing skills of an employee in line with changing and future needs of businesses. Businesses need to consider the mix of skills they can develop internally and which they need to recruit. Businesses need to consider these options: invest in further in-house training and development, recruit staff with specific skills, retain experts who retire on a part-time basis, retain women through flexible work structures, sponsor overseas migrants for areas of major shortage. And the case study for this bad boy is Jimmy Possum. They're a furniture manufacturer. They invest in training for key staff members, increased efficiency and productivity as a result. Production lead times Production lead times fell 25%. Output per man hour increased 33%. They saved $60,000 on timber. Very good, guys. Performance management, developmental or administrative. Addresses both individual and business performance. Successful individual performance often translates to strategic objectives of the business being met. Developmental focuses on using data to develop individual skills and abilities of employees. To improve effectiveness in their roles, they overcome weaknesses and are prepared for promotions. Best achieved through year-round and periodic feedback and shared discussion that is empathetic and goals are focused on. Administrative provides information often following annual appraisals, which can be used for planning and human resource functions such as training, development, rewards, pay levels, benefits, and performance improvement. Focuses on collecting data to manage HRM function more efficiently and ensures individual and business goals align and goals met. Benefits for individual. Creates opportunities for employees to provide feedback. Initiative recognized and rewarded. Fosters promotion on merit. Benefits for the business. Assists with HR planning. Identifies training and development. All legal compliance needs. Helps identify and motivate and retain talented staff for leadership succession. The case study for this one is Facebook. They conduct performance reviews every 6 months. They determine new responsibilities for exceptional employees. Managers directed to stay up to date with project progression. They offer real-time feedback. Co-workers offer feedback using same software. Employees also asked to evaluate themselves. Now, let's talk about the rewards, which are monetary and non-monetary, individual or group, and also performance pay. Alright, monetary. Rewards reflected in pay of having financial value, which is like wages, profit sharing, stock options, and bonuses. Next, we've got non-monetary. Those with no financial value, such as social activities or retirement planning. You could talk about flexible working hours, training, and facilities. Individual, customized for each employee's contribution, individual contract. Group, based on team performances, collective bargaining. Performance pay, a reward system for employees who have performed well during a given time frame. Now let's talk about the Royal Bank of Scotland as our case study. They do monetary and individual and performance pay, so they're great. Employees provided with competitive salary based on skills and experience. They receive a base pay plus additional bonus payments earned. Company meets profit targets, they receive a bonus of 10% of their salary. Individual performance related bonus when personal targets are achieved. Next, we've got global, and so we're going to talk about cost, skills, supply, that's about it. Costs, hiring staff from other countries, accommodation costs, hiring and training host country staff as opposed to relocating home business employees, settling a family. Skills, skill level of employee in host country, how skills translate to other countries. Supply of experienced and qualified employees, willingness of staff to relocate. Which staffing approach to use? Polycentric. They use host country staffing with parent country staff in corporate management at its headquarters. Geocentric uses staff with most appropriate skills for a particular role and location. Builds a pool of managers with global experience. Ethnocentric uses parent country staff in its organization. Yep. Telstra, they cut 300 customer service jobs due to outsourcing in the Philippines. 50% of customer interactions are now online, therefore substantiating cuts. Nothing you can do about it. 400 jobs cut in Queensland, WA, Tas in October. 326 roles nationally expected to be cut. That's a further 326, sorry. CPSU members believed outages will become more common. Employees overseas are unable to assist in the service region, ! Workplace disputes. Workplace relations involve stakeholders with different interests. Disputes occurring in workplace cost business time in lost production, as well as undermining management. Businesses often have a dispute resolution process in place. Major causes of disputes recognized by ABS are disputes over negotiation of awards and enterprise agreements, including the following issues: remuneration, which is wages, allowance, entitlements, and superannuation; employment conditions, working hours, leave, benefits, and other general employment conditions; job security issues, retrenchment of employees; restructuring, downsizing, and outsourcing / use of contractors. Matters outside agreements also cause disputes, including health and safety, managerial policy, union issues, political or social protests. Disputes can be covert, which is hidden, or overt, seen. So covert is like absenteeism, staff turnover, and sabotage. Overt is like lockout, bans, strikes, and pickets. Disputes most often take the form of lockouts, which are employees closing the workplace entrance and refusing the admission of workers. Strikes, workers withdraw their labour. Pickets, protests taking place outside a workplace, often associated with the strike. Unionists stop delivery of goods and try to stop the entry of people into the workplace. Resolution, negotiation, mediation, grievance procedures, involvement of courts and tribunals. Negotiation is where parties work out a solution for themselves. Mediation is independent mediators assisting with the development of an agreement. Arbitration, or an adjudicated agreement, is an independent arbitrator or court determining how a matter will be resolved and makes a legally binding order. The case study for this one is Qantas. Industrial action taken by 3 unions significantly affected tourism. This was over pay and conditions. All Qantas planes were grounded on a busy Saturday. Qantas threatened to lock out all employees. This affected 70,000 passengers, 22 countries, 470 flights cancelled, and they lost 70 million, so they had to sort out the issue quite quickly. Alright, the last part of HR, and then we're done with business studies. Effectiveness. The indicators. Effective HR management will show in the following indicators. Corporate culture. Culture within an organisation relates to the values and beliefs within a business, directly impacting the relationship between management and employees. Successful businesses are able to translate values and beliefs into actions. Becomes the way in which staff do their work. So for this one, I've got Zappos. In the first few weeks, employees are put in the call centre. If they want to quit, they're paid $2,000. Company aims to hire people that are there for more than just a paycheck. Benchmarking key variables. Process of measuring employee performance against established standards. Could be a measure of productivity or quality of work. Changes in staff turnover. Refers to the rate at which employees leave a business. High level of staff turnover caused by voluntary separation indicates poor employment relations within a business. Employees express dissatisfaction by leaving. Dissatisfaction could arise from culture of business, management style, lack of acknowledgement. High staff turnover is costly due to retaining and retraining and acquiring new staff. Businesses lose experience and knowledge. What I've got for this one is the London Airport Hotel. 90% staff turnover. That's so high. Costing the business equal to $886,000 in Australian dollars per year. Selection process improved, leading to reduction in staff turnover. 17% staff turnover means that they save around 700,000 Australian dollars every year. Absenteeism. Employees unable to attend work, usually from illness or family reasons. Some staff choose to express dissatisfaction by taking unnecessary sick days. Absenteeism costs businesses $2.5 billion annually. Increased workload of other staff and extra costs involved in obtaining cost of a casual employee. Accidents. Human error occurs often and can result in workplace accidents. All workplaces across Australia must implement strategies to reduce or eliminate hazards, which is outlined in the WHS Act of 2011. the thing I have for this, the case study, sorry, is KOSH. K-O-C-H, sorry. Inadequate workplace conditions. Company forced to improve working conditions. Employees on average were having 2 accidents per year, which is a lot. Level of disputation. Disputes in workplace reflect an unhappy workforce. Level and seriousness of disputes indicates the successfulness of a business managing employment relations function. Employees need to work out why disputes are occurring and act quickly to rectify issues. Worker satisfaction is the last one. It's used to describe whether employees are happy and content, fulfilling their desires and needs at work. The concept of loyalty is reflected through happy employees and enjoying their work and coexist within a productive relationship with their supervisor. And the acronym, which I did not mention for effectiveness, is CLAWCAB. Alright, business studies is done. Don't fail your exam.